Nope. Nope. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my cat's being a little funny. Alright, gotta enlarge this image, and... Okay, maybe... Alright, hold on a sec, people. Alright, so first off, my cat is really excited to see me. And my lights in my man cave where I make my videos is on, so I sure as hell had to get all that taken care of. Get on my lap, kitty. Alright, so I am going to unlist the stream and re-upload it to my theme park channel. Alright, let's put that in the chat. I can't pin it, but hey. Alright, so I'm gonna enlist this because, well, I need extra money. I'm a greedy pig. Anyway, and yeah. So let's get on with it. So I need to mention first, I have been to Halloween Horror Nights, and this year was alright. Not as good as previous years, but little TLDR on all the houses. The IP houses, uh, I'm not really first off, I'm not really a fan of all like the slasher horror, like the dude with a knife. Basically, it's just uh loved by emo girl dude with a knife. Like that's what most people associate with horror, like Terrifier and Michael Myers. This year we had Jason Universe and Terrifier. All right, the Terrifier house is good, and it was themed to like a circus from what I assume the movie is. I haven't seen any of the Terrifier films. Jason Universe, there were millions of Jasons. There was a skinny Jason, there was a fat Jason, Jason. There was Jason's mom. So apparently it was meant to recreate some iconic kills from the franchise. That's why it was called Jason Universe. So I'm predicting next year we're getting Freddy Krueger because we've gotten because for the past few years that I've been here, we've gotten Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we've gotten Michael Myers, we've got Chucky. What did we get last year? In the serial killer department, loved by emo women. Let me look it up real quick. We had a WWE house, which has a quite interesting story. Basically, it's based off a real wrestler who died not that many years ago, and he had a show that was like a satire of kids shows, and it was a haunted house based on that. That was pretty cool. And the Five Nights at Freddy's house, admittedly, I'm a little bummed it was themed around the movie. But better than nothing. But the puppet work and the animatronics were really well done. And oh, Insidious. We had Insidious last year, but that's still not what I'm thinking of. Anyway, The Fallout House was pretty good, even though I've only seen the first episode of the show. Me and my mom are going to continue going on that. And, yeah. So now let's go on to what this stream is actually about, and that is Epic Universe. So, we got there for early park admission. So our options for that were Super Nintendo World or Dark Universe. We decided to go to Dark Universe. And of course the first ride we rode was Monsters Unchained. And we decided to go on the standby line because no one was there. The wait times on Monsters Unchained can get very, very low. Alright? Mostly because, like the loading station. It's like a giant circle conveyor belt. That's what it is. And it's definitely some of the best queues I've been on, because there's tons of pictures from the original black and white films. There's tons of science stuff going on. There's the body of Boris Karloff's Frankenstein. So yeah, Darkmoor, that is the village Dark Universe is in, takes place decades after the original classic monster movies. So yeah, the Karloff Frankenstein is dead. The ride follows the descendant of Henry Frankenstein himself. Her name is Victoria. And my god, the pre-show was awesome. Alright, a little bit of a nitpick. I kind of wish the pre-show, I'm a little bit more excusable on the ride. I don't know why, it's hard to explain. But I wish they were live action. But still, the voice work on Igor was pretty well done. I don't remember the guy's name, but all I could say is Sungwon Cho is definitely going to be showing hypocrisy for Igor. Anyway. So the second pre-show, I only noticed this at my last ride-through. So, of course I noticed on my first ride-through that there were subtitles on the first part of the pre-show where Igor shows you your vehicle. And here, like, I didn't know there were subtitles because it's on such a far back part of the room, alright, for the pre-show with Victoria and Frankenstein. And admittedly, I was a little bummed that the pre-show Victoria was, like, screen face. But hey, as long as Frankenstein is physical, that's the best. And you want to know what's cool about Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment? There are so many moments on this ride. Admittedly, a couple things about this ride were spoiled for me, but I did not see a single POV. I should make that very clear. I did not see a single POV of any of the rides at Epic Universe, except for the Nintendo ones, because I've already written those. Sorry, I thought I heard a noise. But yeah, from all the screenshots that were a little bit of spoilers, alright, they were either nothing like I thought they were gonna be, like, I saw the scene online of like, Dracula talking through a screen, a sort of electrical TV screen in, the pre-show. Alright, I thought that was gonna be, oh, Dracula just escaped, we have to go and help him. No, that doesn't happen at all. I thought, the part where Frankenstein, it was revealed in the artwork too, puts his hands on the electrical things. I thought that was gonna be at the end to defeat Dracula. Nope, it's at the beginning. And, oh my god, there's gotta be, there's at least another one. Oh well, I'm sure it'll come to me. But yeah, so after you put everything in your locker, alright, this is on many rides at Epic. This is a first-time use. It's basically, you have a facial scan, like, on one side of the room, alright, one side of the wall, you put your stuff in the locker, and on the other side of the wall, if you go find the right number that you put your stuff in, you take your stuff out, alright, of the locker. So basically, it's a room-to-room locker system. So, now you get on the ride, with the circle conveyor belt. It's very quick to get on this damn thing. So, oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, I think I remember one of the things I thought was gonna be, I thought, the Phantom was gonna be one of the creatures who broke free, and he's just playing his organ in the middle of the ride, but no, it's at the very beginning. Alright, he's playing the organ, and this is so fucking cool. He's playing the organ, and fire launches out of each pipe that he's playing on. Alright? It's more of like a maestro kind of role he plays to Victoria Frankenstein. So, yeah, there's a lot of good sets on this ride. I'm trying to save some of my language for when I do a review of this, because I will eventually. I also, it wasn't until later ride-throughs that I noticed the Hunchback inside the bell. Like, is he impaled? Is that a carved, like, statue? Like an in-universe carved statue of the Hunchback of Quasimodo? And there's also technology, I think, the beginning where Frankenstein puts his hands on the electrical things. I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell they're called. Like, the thunder projects onto the animatronic. Alright? And that was info I heard that was gonna be on the ride. That was info I heard like a year or two ago that it was gonna be on there. And so yeah, there's many heat effects on the ride. Not just with the Phantom of the Opera and the organ, but when Dracula breaks free of his blue circle thing, alright, you feel heat. You feel heat. And there's so many good animatronics. There's like 2 Wolfman animatronics, there's a creature from the Black Lagoon, there's a mummy on the ceiling. And I'd say my biggest flaw with this ride is the usage of monsters. Like, I felt like you didn't need as much of the brides. By the way, Dracula has a lot of brides on this ride, not just 3, like in the movie. Alright? And I was a little bit disappointed with the screen scenes, but I gotten used to them. I gotten used to them. There are screen scenes on this ride, but don't worry, you're gonna have a lot better. Alright, people with motion sickness are gonna have a lot better time on this ride than Forbidden Journey, because this ride's the same ride system as Forbidden Journey. As for everything else, the creature from the Black Lagoon only appears on the ride once, and there are times when I've ridden it like 5 times during the trip, where sometimes it flashes multiple times, sometimes it flashes only once, so you gotta be really lucky to see the creature flash multiple times. And also the mummy. The mummy's inclusion on this ride is pretty confusing. So I was really hoping this mummy would be Karis, who is the start of the stereotypical mummy in all of fiction. The stereotypical mummy that's in the wrapping and kills like a zombie. Well, actually, it's not Karis, like in all the sequels to the Boris Karloff movie. It's actually Anck-Sanamen. And this is the only time I'm gonna call bullshit on, like, the ride's continuity, because, like, the movie is making it very clear that you only become a mummy when you commit treason. Alright, Karloff, Imhotep, committed treason, and so did Karis. So, and that's why they both became mummies. Alright, Anck-Sanamen didn't do anything. Her soul is literally like, her soul has literally been in other bodies. Like, she's been reincarnated 24/7, so it does not make any sense for her to be a mummy. I felt like they only chose that because they wanted to have a female monster, and they also... But they wanted to choose a name that be satisfying to fans and people who would watch the movies in the future, which I really hope this land does achieve. But overall, I still like to interpret it being Karis, because you cannot tell the gender on this thing. Like, aside from the merchandise, when you're on the ride, like, it looks like a dude. Like, so many people have said, yeah, the mummy's a dude. And it's literally been paced when Dracula is saying... I don't know, I forgot what he said. I'm just gonna say a clip from Revenge of the Mummy. Serve me and save the riches beyond compare. And, so after Dracula says that, it's coincidentally when the mummy is on there, and it kind of feels like the mummy is saying that to you, but that's not the case. So yeah. I also felt like Victoria, like, the crossbow animatronic of Victoria was very unnecessary. You didn't need that, alright? So basically, when I heard this attraction was gonna have 14 animatronics, my main fear kind of came true, but kind of didn't at the same time. I was satisfied for like 90% of the usage of the animatronics. I'm thinking objectively here. I'm thinking critically. All right, a year from now, I'm not going to have these flaws as a major part of the ride. All right. So I just want to make that very clear. So yeah. And you want to know something cooler about the ride? Like, it feels like you end the ride midway point of the story. And yes, I do mean that as a, positive, because it's so well done. Like, Dracula isn't even killed, alright, and Victoria is shouting, all monsters will bow to the name Frankenstein. Alright, she's holding a chain, and then Igor says, thank you for coming. That's what the doctor says. Like, I was like, wait, we're done already? It feels like we're halfway through the story. And yes, I do mean that. And the ride definitely gives us a dark ending because like a swarm of bats attack Igor. So so they're probably killing his ass right now. So yeah, it's a dark ending, it's an abrupt ending, and it really works on this ride. Alright, this ride is amazing. Amazing. Like, aside from little nitpicks, and nitpicks are not real flaws. They're like minor things that you're just like, but you forgive it at the end of the day. But overall, this is a perfect ride. This is gonna be the new Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man for me. Alright. So. Any other crazy stories? So, here's a couple of crazy stories about Monsters Unchained. So, the second time I was supposed to ride, the ride broke down as I was going to get onto the attraction. So, we all had to wait, and then a lady on the intercom said, hey, the ride is broken down. It might take 30 minutes. So, I was fucking pissed. So, I'm like, might as well do something else. And at our final ride through, we were sitting down. All right, no one was at the ride. All right, because it was close to closing time for Epic, and they just said, you want to ride again? You can do it. So we did. All right, even the group that was with me and my mom. Sorry that took me a bit. We just decided to stay on, and then we saw, yeah, even on that ride through, like, the first time we rode, late at night, the Phantom's organ wasn't working, and then we stayed on, and it was fucking working. It worked. Like, worked, baby. And, yeah. I'd say the second day at Epic was pretty bumming for that ride, because like, a lot of the animatronics were not working. Like, earlier in the day, the creature wasn't working, and now he's working. The first day at Epic, the mummy was not working at all. But then the second day, the mummy was working. So, you had to sacrifice most of the animatronics just for a fucking mummy on the ceiling. At least I watched ride POVs for the first time and saw that the mummy did move. Alright, so now on to, Curse of the Werewolf. This attraction, it's fun, it's thrilling, but it's also very disappointing. It could have been a lot longer, it could have used a lot more spinning. I'm sorry, a kid's coaster, like, that's how they advertised it, that spins, alright, a kid's coaster that both spins and is themed to the Universal monsters goes as good as pineapple on pizza. I'm saying it doesn't work. Alright, this needed to be an extreme coaster, because it's apparently a word for, like, mock rides, because that's the manufacturer, spinning coasters that are treated like any other coaster in the park. And admittedly, and yeah, I could see why you didn't make it like that, because the ride swings back and forth, and, but yeah, I'd be more forgiving of the short run time if you spin a lot more, alright? Or maybe you just, like, make a climb up, like coasters building up, like, to the sky till you're back down. It's kind of like the top of Velocicoaster, except it's not as big as Velocicoaster's top, and I just need a better way to explain it to y'all. So yeah, I definitely think that's the ride that's gonna get some improvement by the next, like, 20 years. So yeah, I love how in the queue of Curse of the Werewolf, there's each sheet that says the quote from the movie, even a man who is pure at heart. In the queue, they say one who is pure at heart because they don't want to offend the people who called a pants commercial Nazi propaganda. This is why I'm staying off the internet for a while. Don't worry, folks. I'm still gonna make videos. I just won't be on social media just to look at shit anymore. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, Curse of the Werewolf could have been a lot longer. It could have been a lot more fun. I definitely really liked. We didn't go to Das Steakhouse, but we went to the Burning Blade Tavern. Unfortunately, the thing did not catch on fire when we were there, which is a little sad. But hey, as long as I ate the garlic bread, which we all know what that does to vampires there, and I did not even interact with any of the hounds. Like there were no hounds there. All right, that's the adult bar of the park. Makes sense because it's themed to the classic monsters. So of course you're gonna make it adult. So yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of good effects on this ride. The not the ride on this land, and the soundtrack is done by Danny Elfman, who of course we all know who Danny Elfman is. And yeah, I met the Invisible Man. I met Frankenstein and the Bride. Uh, I did not see Victoria Frankenstein, but I did see Yegor, but I didn't go up and talk to him, unfortunately. But yeah, and I'm gonna be releasing some of my vlogs on my theme park channel, which I have pinned in the live stream currently. So now we are going back to the hub to Celestial Park. All right. So, Celestial Park, now keep in mind the rest of this video, the events of each ride is going to be, the events of each ride are separated into 2 days and they're going to be mixed mashed together, so, like, a little bit of disclaimer. So, Celestial Park is beautiful. It's themed around, heaven, celestial, and Greek. There's just so much good stuff. Like, the only restaurant I really went inside to eat in was Pizza Moon. Like, it was themed to all the old, I don't know what to call it, but white people arts with, like, a scary moon. I just put on my theme park channel, that fucking thing scares me. It reminds me of Trip to the Moon, the old silent film. Just need to get a zip of Coke. Like, there's, like, headlights that, like, are big silver balls. There's a fountain that dances to music. And that plays all day. It's not just night, but it's all day. This hub is beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. Alright, and now on to the 2 attractions. So, I rode Stardust Racers both days I was at Epic. I need to acknowledge someone unfortunately died on Stardust Racers recently, and my heart goes out to him and his family. But this might be distasteful for me to say, but I think if he just didn't go on the ride, he still would have been with us to this day. And after riding it, I think I know exactly why he died. Because it's a lap bar coaster, and it's very intense. So yeah, of course the guy with the spinal cord injury is gonna like fling around to the point he bangs his head on something, like, and knocks his ass out. Sorry if I'm explaining it like that. I'm not trying to do it in a jokey way. It's just my language, just my vocabulary. I highly recommend riding at night on Stardust Racers, which is what I also did, because the trains are all lit up. Head up. It's definitely a big recommendation, and it's very beautiful to look at. And you know what's funny about Stardust Racers? Alright, one track is yellow, one track is green. I could definitely see the green on the other track of Stardust Racers, but it's so light green, I swore at times it was another yellow coaster. Like, you have to look at it on certain areas just to see the green. Like, it felt like a yellow coaster, but Shrek and Yoshi were killed, and their blood and their skin is just smeared all over a coaster track. That's what I felt. And also, yeah, unfortunately, this has, I think Universal really, and I mean really, needs to fix, they really need to make an exception with, pockets, like zip pockets, because I really don't like, putting my shit back and forth. I just want to go on and ride it, like, especially on a zip pocket, like, Like, my wallet's not gonna fall out if I have a zip pocket pant. My phone's not gonna fall out. But I did it anyway. I followed the rules. And for some reason, you're not allowed to wear your power-up bands on that ride. Like, I don't think it'll necessarily fall off, but I mean, given the way power-up bands are made, it's a little possible. So, yeah. So now there's Constellation Carousel, which we rode on the second day, and waiting for it was a pain in the ass. It's a beautiful ride. Alright, there's an effect that looks really fucking good on it. I love the music, but my god, waiting for it was terrible. Me and my mom went on the express line. It took us forever. That was like the longest express line I've been on in my life going to Universal. And, like, everyone was, okay, basically, the employees were just letting some people on the standby, others on the express line, like, at certain times. And on those little animals on Constellation Carousel, alright, sometimes you have to ride with someone else. Like the animals, they're made in a way where 3 separate people can ride it. And it's like, I'm not riding with my mom like that on an animal. So we decided to just sit on one of the benches. So yeah. Like, I'd rather say that with my girlfriend. If I was still dating my ex that I dated and broke up with earlier this year, alright, that would have been us right now. Also Dark Universe has like a makeup experience, so I think she would definitely want to do that because she's a horror fan. But she broke up with me because she hates me. She decided out of nowhere she hates me. What? What? I'm an adult. I can talk about that shit. Anyway, I'm still down for you to come back, babe. I'll stop being creepy. Anyway, so yeah, the ride is only 60 seconds, and we waited for an eternity to get on. So I'm like, well, I'm not doing this again. Maybe if there's less of a wait time, I'll go. Maybe if I have a girlfriend, I would definitely, ride on it like a horse. Like, I'll be in front, he'll be back. The more I think about it, that could be used as like a sex metaphor, even though that's not intentional. But yeah. So yeah, but Constellation Carousel, decent ride, just something I don't see myself going on again. It's like, it's like the High in the Sky Sush Trolley Train. Like, it's a good ride, it gives you nice views, but it's not gonna be something I'm gonna go on 24/7 like I do anything else in the park. So, I think I should also talk about Super Nintendo World, and Super Nintendo World, because I went to Japan, alright, so I bought the power-up bands that we got in Japan. Alright, so in Japan, me and my family got Donkey Kong and Diddy. Alright, we got P. Diddy Kong. Better lay off that banana oil, am I right? So I decided to bring both those with us to Orlando, like as a way to bring, hey, here's something from Japan that we're bringing to the States, like on the other side of the world at a theme park. So yeah, I got Diddy Kong. I told my mom, you're gonna have Donkey Kong because you're the oldest here. All right, I'm 19 years old, so P. Diddy for me. But that can be taken so much out of context. Yeah, this land is identical to the Super Nintendo World in Japan, with a few minor changes. It's definitely like 5 inches wider. Like, that's what I felt like the Nintendo World in Orlando is compared to Japan. And, unlike Japan and Hollywood, there's actually an escalator that you could go up in the Warp Pipe. Alright, Warp Pipe, green escalator, you go up to the land. It is fantastic. Like, it's such a great experience. Like, that could be a ride in and of itself. So yeah, ranking all the lands, all the Nintendo Worlds that exist, because I've been to all of them. Nintendo World in Hollywood, It's good. It's good that they have it over there, but it just feels like they only have it because they feel like required to have it, and because there's so much little space, you know, they just shrunk it down as much as possible with only having the Mario Kart ride. So basically, I think if you just had the Mario Kart ride, I think guests would be forgiving of it, because I think most guests don't really care about lands, like especially in Universal Studios Hollywood or Universal Studios Florida, where you have Simpsons here and Men in Black there. But yeah, so Japan, I don't know whether to rank Japan or Orlando as better, because Orlando has the escalator pipe, and Japan has all the native language on all the rides, all the restaurants, all the experiences. But yeah, they're basically both the same thing. Sorry if you hear that noise. That's my chair. But so how are all the rides? So Mario Kart, once you get the gameplay down, all right, you're gonna have a much better time on the ride. I think once you get on it for the first time, you're probably not gonna like it. But I think the more you do, like the more you figure out the gameplay, you're gonna appreciate the ride a lot more. I definitely think this ride is definitely gonna get a following as the years go by. Hi, like because of the augmented reality, because the physical sets are really damn good. Hood. And yeah, you are allowed to take them off. I just didn't have the desire to take off the AR goggles when I was there. You still the same flaws I had with both Hollywood and Japan. Maybe have the coin count and the shells, like the numbers you have, like on the bottom left of your goggles. I don't even think I don't think in Japan like the arrows were in every direction. Like the arrows telling you to turn, that's how you get the coins. I don't think they. I think they were only in one direction, not everywhere where you look in Japan. But it definitely is everywhere you look in here in America. So yeah, Mario Kart is a really good ride. Like it might be disappointing that it's not a test track like attraction. It might be disappointing because it's not a roller coaster, but I bet you're gonna appreciate the ride for what it is. I bet you even if it was that, we wouldn't have the AR technology. This ride was made for the AR. All right. So now there's Yoshi's Adventure. Now Yoshi Adventure, the queue is themed around the Yoshi's Island game, so it looks like a coloring book. It looks like a craft. That's the Yoshi's Island games. And you help Toadette. It's really strange hearing Toadette talk in English. Like, I know I've played Mario Sunshine, but most of the time the characters don't talk. Actually, I'm gonna say this real quick. I like that in the pre-show, explaining you the details of Mario Kart, the Mario Kart ride, nobody talks, not even the fucking Lakitu that's on there. Alright, so it was kind of a little refreshing not to hear a character who doesn't exist tell you safety precautions and how it works and shit like that. So yeah, I don't know, I just like that. I don't hate it. I don't hate when people talk in pre-shows, but I just think this one's unique. But anyway, so yeah, Toadette talks in the pre-show for Yoshi's Adventure. Yoshi's Adventure in both Japan and Orlando has serious operating problems. Like, so basically what you do is that you find each egg. Alright, you're riding your Yoshi on the Omni Mover. Alright, and there's an egg, and when the egg glows, you have to push it. Every time I fucking push it, it either doesn't work, alright, the entire thing doesn't work, only one or two buttons work, or I don't know. But yeah, that ride, Yoshi's Adventure, really, and I mean really, needs fixing ASAP. But how's the ride in general? It's pretty good. Alright, yeah, it's a ride for little kids, but it's still a relaxing ride that you could just sit down, look at the view of Super Nintendo World, look at an up close at the Condor, I think that's the thing's name. There's also a pipe that leads to Starship Mario from Mario Galaxy 2. That's also in the queue for Mario Kart. And yes, a lot of it is identical to Japan, in case you're wondering. So, and then there's a room with Baby Mario. You know what I found funny about Baby Mario? Like the hatchet was on his ass. Alright, was on his diaper ass. I don't know why they made him like that. Like, maybe the animatronic, it's not that much of an animatronic because it doesn't have too much movement, but maybe he does shit himself and they just open that just to, I'm not gonna go into too much detail because, uh, I'm not gonna say because there's just so many things. I was gonna say something about my relationship, but I'm like, nah, that needs to be private. Oh yeah, Cody. Cody's in that room. Why does no one want to play as Cody? Ken. Yeah, there are a lot of Ken dolls wherever Cody went. It's like it's so awesome to see them represent Cody like that because he's Mario's first gay character with the Ken doll. Like, yeah, he's a doll, dude. But yeah, all the Ken dolls were so refreshing to see in Super Nintendo World. It's great to see gay representation at a theme park of all places, you know, making fun of people. All right, so yeah, there's an animatronic of Pooch. I think that's his name. Is it Pooch or is it Poochie or is it something else? Uh, but yeah, it's an animatronic of him panting. I don't think this is in Japan, but there's like a moving desert bridge that goes back and forth just like the games. I don't think that was in Japan when I went. There definitely were the baby Yoshis. There definitely was the Captain Toad animatronic and the golden egg. My cat just meowed. Unfortunately, the Thwomp didn't move in Orlando, but it did in Japan. So yeah, it's a wholesome ride. It's a wholesome ride that's worth sitting down. Yeah. So now we're on to Donkey Kong, and the Donkey Kong area, this is one of the few differences from the Japan version. So in Japan, the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness Temple only has mist coming out of it, only has smoke. But here, it's a full-on fucking waterfall, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Alright, you got your blue Pikmin there, just like the Japan version, just a waterfall. So yeah, again, it could have been a lot longer, but it's still a really fun ride. It's still a really good attraction. A little bumpy, but it's really fun. Alright, could use a lot more Tiki Tak Tribe animatronics. I mean, I get that they're all dead because they turn into the hands of Tiki Tong. It's really cool to see Tiki Tong. I know a lot of people would prefer K. Rool. I would have liked to see K. Rool myself, but come on. Donkey Kong Country returns to my childhood. I love seeing Tiki Tong there. Why am I doubling the letters that I'm pronouncing? But yeah, it's definitely a really fun ride. Even the breaker points are fun, and I highly recommend it. So, it might not look thrilling on the POVs, but when you actually ride it, it's thrilling. Alright, I highly recommend it. What you fussing about, kitty? So now let's go on to Berk. The land is beautiful. It is such a well-themed attraction. It's, no, well-themed land. Sorry for saying attraction. I did not go on Fire Drill because I don't like water rides. Yeah, it's a sort of Men in Black but water ride. I could ride it, but I hear you get really wet on it. So I didn't go on it. But I did go on Dragon Racers Rally, which does not have an express for some reason. It's the only ride in the park that doesn't. And Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Hiccup's Wing Gliders is amazing. It's a thrilling coaster. It has a scene in and of itself, which makes it very comparable to Hagrid's a little. Like, basically, you go in a, like, nest full of, like, you know, the fat dragons, meat lug babies. That's the name of the dragon. It's a very easy name to remember. I'm horrible at the English language, aren't I? But, it's especially really good at night. So I rid it twice. I rid it in the day, and I ridden it at night. I highly recommend riding it at night, because the eggs look really nice. Alright. Hey. So yeah, fun coaster, and Dragon Racers Rally. My fucking thing didn't spin. I was pissed. Probably because the row me and my mom were in, like, one of the seats were broken. So maybe all of us could ride, but, you know, we couldn't, like, turn and shit. Everyone else turned. Alright, when I looked in, like, on the second day, everyone else fucking turned. I didn't go on the coaster, not coaster, I didn't go on the ride the second day, of course, because I was worried, but I'll definitely go again. because I want to spin. If I was told I was gonna spin on a fucking flying ride, then I want to spin on a flying ride. I want to die if this thing can kill me. If this thing can kill me, I would happily take that risk. Hi, kitty. Hopefully you heard that meow. Did you hear that? I hope you guys heard that. Yeah, she misses me. This cat really loves me. There's also a really good dish in, Burke. That's like a bread. That's like garlic bread with, macaroni and rice and also goldfish. The actual goldfish cracker, and it's really good. It's really good. There's definitely a couple of snacks within Epic Universe. Pizza Moon, unfortunately, it had the kind of veggies I don't like olives, so me and my mom picked that out just for me, but yeah, I got it because it's a barbecue pizza with barbecue chips, Lay's barbecue chips. That's some of my favorite chips ever made on this planet, so of course I'm gonna get that, and, it felt like the barbecue pizzas that I would usually make at Mod. Alright, if you have a Mod pizza in your area, definitely go. I don't know if it's a Colorado-only thing, but definitely go if you have one in your area, or in your state. Dark Universe had a Frankenstein pretzel. Alright, of course it's gonna be good. Nintendo snacks were very reminiscent of those in Japan. Except Japan was sure as hell... No. Orlando was missing the mushroom and the peach. I think the other flavor was peach. I definitely know one of them was mushroom. The seasoning of the popcorn from Japan. Japan was missing the chocolate bars. I wanted to get a chocolate bar so bad, but I didn't. Alright, let me check the chat. Is anyone chatting? Nope, no one's chatting. This is why I hate the planet. Oh, I of course got butterbeer, but I didn't eat at anything in Ministry of Magic, which apparently the food there is really good. So yeah, I didn't eat everything at Epic Universe. I don't go to theme parks for food, I go for rides. Alright, I'm a thrill seeker. So now on to Ministry of Magic. It's not the greatest Harry Potter land, but it's still really damn good. It's themed to Paris. I've been to Paris myself. There's a crazy personal experience about Paris that my mom tells in the vlog that I'm gonna upload onto YouTube. So apparently the shortest building in Ministry of Magic is taller than the tallest building in Diagon Alley. And admittedly, I didn't really see that, but it still feels like that. I'm also disappointed that that the land is not a hotel. All right, I definitely think that's the perfect opportunity to have a hotel within a land because, you know, there's definitely some hotel rooms or apartment rooms, whatever life is like in France over for you guys over there. Except it was the most inaccurate land because no one there were assholes. Because that's Paris. But yeah, there was an archway with all the creatures, so the land is halfway themed to the Fantastic Beasts movies, which are big fat failures. There was supposed to be 2 more after the 3rd one, but of course the movies weren't well received, so they decided, hey, let's go with the show. Let's go with the fucking show. I really like the first Fantastic Beasts movie. That's a good one, in my opinion. I think theming it to the American Ministry would have been a better idea, but you snooze, you lose, America. You snooze, you lose, New York Ministry of Magic. But my cat is now into feet. Like, she has literally tried to get me to pet her with my feet. I actually owned a cat a long time ago that was the same thing. Except she actually did like feet. But, and you know what's even funnier? So, the land takes place in Paris, but the ride canonically takes place under Diagon Alley. And I actually think that's a good thing, because there's no way you could build this in Diagon Alley in Universal Studios Florida. You would have to either get rid of Men in Black or get rid of Fast and Furious Supercharge. Actually, you know, if you could just scrap the land just to get rid of Fast and Furious Supercharge, I'd be all down for it. But anyway, this building is big. All right, so you go into the Flu Network. All right, it's gonna be just like I saw someone compare it to the fire-breathing dragon in Diagon Alley. That's a really good comparison. It's a weight limit, so you need 2 people for the smoke to go up, and it is beautiful. The green bricks everywhere, the office buildings. I also think it was missed potential to not have people working in there. Like, you can have real people working in there. Like, they could be working on park surveillance or, paperwork related to the park. It's just, it looks like they're in the Harry Potter universe. That'd be the funnest job in the world. That'd be the funnest job in the park. This room is fucking big. Big. Like, the statues are well done. There's an LED screen. So the ride story is the trial of Dolores Umbridge. And I don't know about you, but I hate Dolores Umbridge. And it makes her the perfect villain for an attraction, because she's the kind of person who would say, nope, do not go on rides, adults. Just be miserable and work 24/7. And kids, how dare you enjoy rides? It's time for spankings. It's time for more and more homework. Dolores Umbridge is that kind of character. She doesn't do that on the ride, of course. I'm just bringing in an example. But yeah, so it's about the trial of Dolores Umbridge. She escapes, and yeah, the ride has a little bit too much screens. But overall, the ride's really good. It's basically the Spider-Man and Transformers ride system, except, there's an accordion underneath that makes you go up and down to simulate an elevator. And apparently this ride went through a hell of a production. Like, it was planned to be something like Rise of the Resistance. It was planned to be something like Tower of Terror. But then they decided to go with something new because it would have been too expensive. And Universal does not like trackless rides anymore after Reign of Kong and Fast and Furious Supercharged. So what was I gonna say? So now, but yeah, there is an animatronic of the Rhino from the Fantastic Beasts films. There are animatronics of the Death Eaters. Those are really good. My favorite screen scenes are the elevator. Alright, so there's a screen background, a physical elevator with a physical light on top, but with screen humans. Alright, and Harry, Ron, and Hermione, alright, all looking like Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson. Alright, they're on the ride. You do notice that it's CGI, but the CGI is so fucking good. It's so good on them. It's definitely video game-like CGI. I wouldn't say it's AI, but it definitely feels like, 10 times better Clue from Tron Legacy CGI. DH Jeff Bridges. Definitely better than that, but you'll definitely notice that. I think the biggest missed potential of Ministry of Magic, I think it needed to be 3D. Alright, I think that's the kind of ride to be 3D. There's many points in the ride that would have worked in 3D. Hopefully they add that in the future. I know it's LED and not projected like all the other rides at Universal, but I mean, who knows? Like, you could just blur the screen and then the 3D would work. That's how my television, that's how all the televisions in my house work. So yeah. There's also a female house elf that was made just for the attraction. I like her. Her backstory is that she was Doris Umbridge's former house elf, and I liked her as a character in it. And yeah, there's also both a physical and a screen scene where Dolores Umbridge is using all the clocks to time travel back to Lord Voldemort. So she wants to bring Voldemort back. Alright. But she ends up destroying the fucking place, and now you're going through the sands of time. There's a Dolores animatronic on a bunch of gears, and then the gears turn over. It goes into a screen Dolores Umbridge, and Ron and Harry save her. Alright. And I like when you do that, because you can't just let people die. You have to make people face their crimes. Alright, those should not kill. J.K. Rowling, she might make a book about magic, but she's a Christian. She's apparently a pretty big Christian in real life. Though her 2017 posts might say otherwise, but I believe she is. But we're not going to get into that right now. And there's a animatronic scene. I found it really bullshit that, again, I really hate the screen face animatronics, which Disney is getting rid of. Universal got the memo late. But thank God the Kingsley Shacklebolt animatronic is not screen face. I don't really remember Kingsley Shacklebolt's role in both the books and the movies. It's been a long time since I've seen the movies. I haven't read the books yet. But apparently he is a really well-developed character. And yeah, I could see that, because he's like the main minister of the Ministry of Magic. So yeah, so I was really surprised to see, them allow the likenesses of Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. Like, when I hear all three characters were going to be on the ride, I thought they were going to be minor roles. But no, they are in the whole attraction. Yes, they are clearly CGI. Yes, they are clearly Clue from Tron Legacy. Young Jeff Bridges, but 10 times better CGI de-aging. But they are really good. Alright, like, they do play a big role in the attraction, and I'm surprised they allowed their likenesses, because, let's just say, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson became ungrateful bastards after a couple of comments J.K. Rowling made. Rupert Grint made some slight jabs at her, but he seems to not really care all that much, and Emma Watson had a recent controversy where she's like, yeah, I feel bad for J.K. Rowling, but I really hope she basically tiptoed around what she said because she didn't want to piss off the trans mafia. But yeah, it's a very big debacle, and that's why they're all CGI, but yeah. And maybe their comments may or may not be why they're making the new show in the first place. But anyway, all that aside, really good ride. I highly recommend it. Overall, I rank this park a solid 10 out of 10. It's definitely top 5 best parks in Orlando. Disney still has Animal Kingdom and Epcot, which are great theming-wise. Islands of Adventure will always be my favorite at heart, but my favorite right now is Epic Universe. Alright. So yeah. Now before I leave, because I've been talking about this fucking thing for an hour, I am going to share a little scoop, which I'm going to release as a stream highlight, if any of you don't mind. So, it's about the replacement of Rip Ride Rockit and 2 other things coming. So how did I get this scoop, if you're asking? So, me and my mom were visiting a friend who lives in Florida now. We decided to eat at the Hard Rock Cafe so we could see a view of the Rip Ride Rockit replacement construction. Alright, an employee allowed me to go outside, out on the porch, to go record the construction of what's coming. There's no track yet, but there is construction, there is dirt layout. And this is what he told me. So first off, so this is a guy who works at Universal. This is a guy who works at a cafe. Alright, so since he works at a cafe, take it with a big grain of salt, because there's a lot of people at the parks who don't know specifically what's coming. Alright. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt even from him, but I do think he is very, very reliable because he works at this park. Alright, and he said he saw some so according to him, he saw blueprints of what's replacing Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. And apparently, Amusement Insider's video on what's replacing Rip Ride Rockit is very, and I mean very accurate to what's replacing it. It fits the blueprints that he saw. He did not show me the blueprints, of course, but he showed me the video on YouTube, and Amusement Insider has been very reliable on track layouts in the past. So what will replace Rip Ride Rockit is going to be Fast and Furious. Unfortunately, I was really hoping for a Ghostbusters Ecto 1 coaster. But he did say, alright, I think this is information not shared by anyone before. I haven't seen any YouTuber talk about this, but Ghostbusters in the parks, Ghostbusters is going to replace Fast and Furious Supercharge. That's what the guy told me. And Back to the Future will come back in some way, shape, or form. Okay, like I said, he works at the restaurant, so take it with a grain of salt, but he's still a guy who works at the resort. So I think it's definitely reliable. Alright, people have been saying Fast and Furious is likely gonna replace Rip Ride Rockit, and if that's the case, that means Supercharge's clock is ticking. And yeah, He didn't tell me what ride system Ghostbusters is gonna be, but man, if only we exchanged numbers over there, because he could have been my insider source. All right, but yeah. So TLDR on the scoop. Fast and Furious Orlando Drift is going to replace Rip Ride Rocket. He said Amusement Insider's video is very accurate to what he saw in the blueprints and the construction layout. And Ghostbusters will be replacing Supercharge, and Back to the Future will come back to Orlando eventually. So, and it makes a lot of sense because of all the merchandise, and it seems to be popular over there now. So, that's the end of the stream, and I'll see you all later. Bye. I'm gonna be working hell